All right, how y'all doing, My Healthy Climate? It's nice to be in a state where we have something to celebrate in this regard. We can celebrate the progress that we are making together. I want to thank you, Zach, for the introduction, and thank our Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, the entire team for hosting this conference. And I want to thank all of you for waking up and deciding every day to make Michigan a leader when it comes to responding to our climate crisis, and doing so not out of fear, but out of a vision for opportunity and possibility. We recognize that we have the power to deal with this challenge. And while the challenges are great, while there's some big problems we have to solve, we also have big minds and big goals and big ambitions that we can use to solve these challenges together. This gathering, the second annual My Healthy Climate Conference, is a representation of what we can do when we come together. We all can do more by pushing one another. And I think this movement has pressed Michigan forward in a way that few movements can and few movements have. Michigan has gone from being a laggard to being a leader in terms of responding to the climate crisis and having zero-net energy goals that are aggressive and goals that are designed around protecting people and recognizing that we must center people and their experience both in the past as we come through this transition and, most importantly, how we move forward. Zach talked about the importance of recognizing the presence of a necessary understanding of what environmental justice means. And that can be a catchphrase to many people. In fact, I'm going to be real with you. I hate the phrase environmental justice community. It's a weird label. Like it's a community where something bad happened that we need to fix. And so I think that in our response, our hope is that we can instead center leaders from communities that have been deeply and darkly affected by the climate crisis, or even more precisely, by those who have made decisions that contributed to that crisis, those that have specifically neglected people and communities, that have put dirty things into their water and into their air, that we can then develop mechanisms for accountability, pathways for investment, so we can walk into this future and do so in a way that's more responsive to those communities. That's what I'm so proud of, not only from our administration and this climate-forward majority in the Democratic legislature that's in session right now, but I'm proud that, frankly, at the federal level, we've seen from the Biden-Harris administration historic investment in solving these challenges. So I'm excited today to talk about, though, how we are working using every tool at our disposal, including some new tools we've created here in the state of Michigan, to accelerate action, to accelerate investment, and to bring more people into the opportunities that we have to make game-changing decisions and game-changing investments in our communities. Just yesterday, we announced, for example, $20 million for environmental justice projects across the state. Today, I'm really proud to announce, though, that we are following up with $12 million more dollars, one of the largest investments in these environmental justice responsive projects in communities and to the organizations that are on the ground doing the real work. Specifically, we are going to invest $11 million from what we call the Make It in Michigan Competitiveness Fund to help fund community organizations, local governments, tribal communities, and more, so that they can win more community change grants that are available under the Inflation Reduction Act. This is an unprecedented opportunity for community-based organizations to implement projects that combat climate change, that increase resiliency, and address historical environmental inequities and injustices. Now, this $11 million challenge is called the Climate Capacity Challenge. There's going to be $1 million to provide technical assistance, helping organizations put together winning grant applications, because we all know everybody doesn't have a grant writer on staff or on their team. But then $10 million to match grant awards, doubling the impact of the dollars pulled down from the federal government. Like, the reason we created this fund is because we need to win all the federal money in Michigan. Like, I want to win every single competitive dollar. And we've started this fund specifically so that Michigan-based applications, that organizations, governments that are applying from Michigan will already have even more matching capacity, making their applications stronger. So whether you need grant management, whether you need help with accounting or back office, personnel, it is our job in state government to position you to be even more successful in the application process. And we are going to follow through to that success with you. We're going to show the federal government, and we're going to show the entire globe that we will work together to cut emissions, lower energy costs, and protect and steward the natural resources that we've all been blessed with. These investments are going to help communities across Michigan be better, be healthier, have more people have more access to the health and wealth that is part of their humanity, to make a real difference on the ground, to have people in places where we've said no hear a yes for the first time in a generation, and get us closer to the ambitious climate goals that we've set, but the ambitious outcome goals that we have that are about the potential that every single person in Michigan has a right to as a person. Now, we've had a lot of wins already. Michigan has been a leader in terms of just the amount of investment and the number of clean energy projects that we've seen launched here in the state just in the last 2 years. Even 24 projects just in the last year that totaled $21 billion in investment, created 16,000 jobs, and in the next decade, we're looking to add 167 clean energy jobs here in the state of Michigan. We are currently the leader in the country when it comes to clean energy sector job growth, and that will only accelerate because of the actions that we're taking. We're proud of partners like the Energy and Innovation Business Council and Five Lakes Energy that have done the study that shows that our clean energy plans will save Michigan families $5.5 billion in household energy costs and bring homes $14.7 billion more dollars in federal funding. These are dollars that are going to make a difference in new projects across communities. Workers across Michigan are ready, rolling up sleeves, putting on hard hats, ready to get to work. We need your help to keep the pace so they can keep working. We need your help to make sure that they can be trained to have the credentials, to have the experiences they need for these jobs both today and tomorrow. Right now, every dollar, every project, every community is important, and it makes a difference. So I have a charge for you today. I don't want what I'm sharing with you to be the only time that someone in Michigan hears it. I need you to talk about this. I need you to talk about the opportunities. I need you to invite your counterparts and colleagues to apply, to participate. The money is here to be used and be spent. The projects will fail if they don't happen, and they only happen if we participate. So I need you to talk. I need you to share. Be generous, because that is how we will end up winning this fight against climate change. Also, just remember why we do this work. I think about my own life. Living on the east side of Detroit, I was a kid whose basement flooded every time it rained more than a little bit. There are communities that have seen flooded living spaces on a daily or weekly basis in too many communities across Michigan. Yes, because we made unfortunate infrastructure investments, but also because we weren't mindful enough to get feedback from the community about what those investments should be and what they should look like. That's what it means to leave somebody behind. But our movement can be different, because the people in this room represent a more diverse, a differently empowered, a more conscientious, and a better connected group of people who will make a different set of choices, that will optimize every community for a better set of outcomes, that will make sure we all have a role and a place in the movement to clean up the state of Michigan, and as Michigan goes, so goes the country. So I ask you to walk into that role proudly. I ask you to walk into it boldly, because this is something that we can solve and show everyone what's possible when we work together. Thank you. Let's stand tall for Michigan, and let's be the arsenal of decarbonization for the entire globe.